What's happened?
Change, my dear, and it appears. And I can't even do it.
Right, let's just start.
Right, so hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Shobocast. I'm Paul.
Ooh.
That's where you introduce yourselves.
I'm Dan Shinks.
I'm Cameron.
This is going
That's all
well.
of us.
I believe we have another person.
And I'm Paul.
Go on. Ah, no.
Now, hang on a second. There's some mischief going on here.
Right, so has everyone introduced themselves?
What was that? What are you doing, Cameron?
Dark Fruits
Cameron's
Gang.
cracking open the cold ones already.
Are we both? We're on the same drink.
Yeah,
Why are you all drinking?
It was cheapest in Tesco
Why
it's
are you
only 6
drinking?
o'clock.
because we've got to
It's
put up
20
with Paul.
past 6.
Doctor Who.
Right.
Right.
Doctor Who podcast.
Should we start with the news?
I think
Yeah.
we should.
So,
Yeah. Well, no, I think
makes sense of us
firstly
introducing ourselves.
we should say thanks for listening to the last one because that did way better than I thought it would.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
it's
for listening
about
to that. That was better.
141 at the moment
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Not
So,
sure about the others because I don't know how to check that. But I assume they're doing not as well.
So all three of you have decided to listen to this one. I'm glad you're still here.
Yeah,
Thank you for sticking with us.
yeah.
It
So
will get better, hopefully.
No, we won't. Should
Yeah,
we go into
when
the
we learn
news?
to clap on the count of 3.
He's really eager to start the news, so let's start the
Let's
news.
get on with the
Time for
news.
3 cheese news. Dan, can you edit the theme in?
I
Yeah?
haven't made a jingle.
News.
News. Welcome to the news. First bit of news is the Time Lord Victorious Comic Con panel. Is it a woo? Was it a woo?
Someone's got to woo it.
They only spoke about the comic.
Yeah, that's all.
Because it was the
They were
Titan
very-
comic
They
panel.
didn't even give any details away. They were just like, "We're making a comic." Who's your favourite Doctor? Oh,
It's
cheers.
a 2-part comic starring the 10th Doctor. It's going to be released on the 2nd of September, which is going to kickstart the Time Lord Victorious thing, which I'm still not entirely sure what it is.
Did,
It's some kind of multimedia
yeah,
Doctor Who thing.
All of the
They-
Doctor
they've
Who
still gotta announce the
licensees,
game, too.
basically.
But the collected edition of them comics is listed as the 13th Doctor Volume 2.2 or something. Like, so I'm not sure whether the 13th Doctor's in the comic.
I'm not sure what.
I'm not sure
What
what
any
the
of
fuck
it
goes
is.
on when they
I
like,
don't
label it like
think that-
2.2. I'm like, oh, just name it 3.
I think that's
or
just
4.
the Amazon bit,
Yeah.
because it's also got a review from February.
Ah,
is-
to be fair,
Interesting.
I put a review up for New Mutants when they listed that on Amazon.
Oh, what did you think of it?
I said something like, I thought it was really brave when I'll have to find it because it was like the biggest load of shit you'll ever see. 'Cause it was completely made up. But
I've
it
seen
was pretty
quite a lot
good.
of
Because the
reviews
film's not out
for-
yet.
Yeah.
The Amazon DVD of Series 12, there were reviews for it before it had actually started.
Oh, that's a surprise.
Reviews listed from 1st of December,
Were they negative, by any chance?
when the series didn't start until the end of the month.
Yeah.
They were negative, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of. There seems to be a lot of that going around at the moment. It happened with it was with Reboot in that people did it for The Last of Us 2.
It's
I think it happened
embarrassing.
with Captain Marvel as well.
It's really
And if-
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if
Like-
you look at those things, there's a common theme there, and it's not that they star men.
Yeah.
It's just a bit sad, really. But now let's talk about a Doctor Who comic.
Yeah, speaking of sad,
The comic looks pretty good.
Yeah, there was.
Like,
They released
yeah,
those
sorry.
4 pages as a sneak preview.
Yeah.
I've still no idea what's going on, but it looks interesting.
I've found the review.
Here we go.
So the title is "They Truly Are the New Mutants," and then it just says, "A movie full of surprises. I can't believe Magneto pegged Adolf in the third act and defeated him by turning him into one of the many things he hates. The arc really came full circle, and Amazon approved it."
Well,
I
Dan,
couldn't
just make
believe
your
it.
job editing. Please remove that.
I'm gonna remove anything that isn't Doctor Who related is getting chucked out.
Oh, good.
yeah. Did any of you see the sneak preview stuff?
Of the comic, I read
Yeah.
the first page. I think it was yesterday. Something about I seen it on like a
The
website,
Doctor
and I
will
was like, "Oh,
defeat the
this is
Dalek
cool."
worst enemy.
Yeah, the Doctor was just having some banter with the Daleks.
It's just a bit of banter with the Daleks.
It's classic banter.
Just a bit of classic banter with the Daleks.
He was like, "Oh, I got into the window, and they're like, we're gonna murder you." And he was like, "Lol."
Yeah, it looks interesting. There's that big Dalek with the big head. I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
what his deal is.
I
Wait,
think he's
actually-
Supreme, isn't he? Or
Actually,
something
he
like that.
refers to
He's
he
the
refers to
Emperor.
him in this as the Emperor Dalek.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's like the
Um,
classic Emperor, but gold, isn't he? Unless the classic Emperor
Right.
is gold.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Is that the same Emperor as in End of Series 1? just in a
No, I don't think so.
No,
What?
No,
might be.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I
Probably
have
not.
no idea
Just
what
remember-
any of you are talking about.
Just remember the Dalek Prime Minister?
I'm sorry, what?
The Dalek Prime Minister from Asylum
Oh,
of the Daleks.
Asylum of the Daleks.
Oh, so it's like a smaller version
Yeah.
in a little jar.
It rings
Yeah.
a bell, actually. I've
Yeah.
not seen... I don't think I've
The
seen
Asylum
this
of
Dalek
the
one.
hierarchy is weird.
Can't wait to do
Yeah.
that one.
Good one, Mark.
Just the Dalek hierarchy. You've got a Prime Minister, an Emperor, the Davros Supreme, Dalek
They need-
Sec for whatever he's worth.
He was like a cult leader, wasn't he?
You've got the Supreme Dalek and Dalek Supreme.
They just need to get their bloody act together,
Yeah.
don't
Oh, that's
They're not-
tweeted
they're not
Mark
very
Gatiss
on
asking
point
him
with
what
that,
the
are they?
Eternal Dalek does, and he didn't say.
they? Why?
I just thought, come on, Mark, you're not doing fuck all, are you? Come on.
He was on an episode of Infinite Monkey Cage a couple of weeks ago.
Was it a rerun?
No, so the new series was about What Is Time.
Alright.
Yeah.
It's what Mark Gatiss wastes when he writes an episode. I'm joking.
He's
Oh,
fine.
Wait.
His
I like all
episodes are
Mark Gatiss's
fine.
episodes. Apart from Sleep No More, which is a bit like, why, Mark? But they're all pretty good. Especially, did he write Cold War?
Yes. That's a good one. I like
That's a
Cold War.
belt for one, man.
I can't.
Yeah.
Cold War. No.
What else? Victory of the Daleks, that's a good one.
That's mostly good, yeah.
The Empress of Mars.
More like
Good
Cold
Unquite
War.
Dead.
We just listed Mark Gatiss episodes now, aren't we?
The Unquiet Dead.
Oh, the
Um,
Unquiet. Yeah, that's good.
Not technically, that's Nine's Christmas special.
Yeah. And only his
Yeah.
third episode, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's an alright episode.
Anyway,
The
We should talk about a Ninth Doctor episode
To
one
the
day.
Time Lord Victorious.
you should.
one day, not today.
So that's the end of that one.
Yeah.
There wasn't really much else in the way of Time Lord Victorious.
There never is.
They said
it's,
there's going
there
to
never
be
is.
35
it's really not as
product.
big as I thought it'd be.
What else have we got for the news then?
So the next bit was Colin Baker's open to return for the 60th anniversary for the doing a sequel to the Five Doctors reboot.
Oh,
Yeah,
Sorry.
Talking about doing one.
yeah. This was it was an interview with Den of Geek. He was talking about the possibility of returning to do another one of them.
And he went, yes, I'll return.
you see,
Yeah, so
I was just about to like ask you to do the voice. I've actually got the I've got the sound clip on my phone. If you guys want to hear what Paul sent
God.
me the other day.
Cool.
Oh, sweet mother of shit.
I'm just trying to find it now. Right, there we go.
That's a new expression.
You're familiar with his opening line at the end of the Regeneration story where he says, "Change, my dear."
Change,
Yep.
my
Right?
Another too soon.
Yeah.
Change, my dear, and it appears. And I can't even do it.
We've just
perfect
resent
impression.
that to each other all day.
What a perfect impression.
It is one of my best for the first 3 words.
I think your Billy
So-
Hartnell's a little bit more on point.
Better than your Hartnell.
Yeah.
Just don't quit your day job, Paul.
How long?
Yes, so he said they've spoken to Peter, Paul, and Sylvester. They're all on board. So, what did you think of the 5 Doctors thing they did for the 50th anniversary?
Oh, the
I've only
5-ish
seen it
Doctors.
once. Like when it came out, or
I thought it was
when
great.
I got the DVD. Like
It was a bit of fun.
I
Yeah.
remember the joke about John Barrowman having a wife and kids. Like that was dead funny.
They're David Tennant's kids or something.
Yeah.
Were they? Yeah.
There's
I
a
wonder if
load
the
of
layers
like.
go
Yeah.
deeper than like the secretly in real life John Barrowmans.
There's some really good
And
gags
he's
in
been
that.
knocking about.
I like the bit with the
Yeah.
corridor where they go into the corridor and the music changes to outside.
Outside it's the classic music, and then as soon as they get into the studio, it's the old Murray Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alfred sent me a good comic relief one yesterday. You know, the one where Jack's having like a standoff in the TARDIS with some blue-faced man, and then David Tennant just walks in the
Oh,
TARDIS
that
and
was
he's
a
like, "You all
thing
right,
for
John?
John Barrowman's show.
What are you doing?" And it's like the twist that it's not actually a mini episode and it's just John fucking about. on
Oh,
set.
that rings a bell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that
like-
was like a fan entry on his show on BBC One
Yeah.
back when he had like a Graham Norton show type thing.
I don't remember exactly what the blue-faced alien looked like, but I'm imagining it to look exactly like the dream crabs in Series 12. Not Series 12, Series fucking 8, 9, 8.
8 or
It's the end
9.
of Series 8.
Uh,
That's Christmas.
Also, I was reading. So I read the rest of that interview with Colin Baker, and the topic of Tom Baker's cameo in Dave the Doctor came up.
Hello.
Colin was not a fan of it.
Was he not?
No, he described it. He said it was frankly naff.
Ooh.
Nah.
Yeah,
Oh.
it seems like I've got the full quote here.
Do you want some ice with that burn?
No.
Well, I not full quote because he went on for quite a bit about it, but it was. We were all a little bit miffed. Yes, Tom did it longer than anyone else, but do you have to rub it in our faces all the time? So all you people were a bit Den of Geekish. Went, it's Tom, brilliant. What was he? What was he doing there? He was quite. He's quite.
Having a cup of tea?
To be honest,
Yeah.
Colin, you're in no place to chat shit about anyone, you fat meth.
That's a bit mean.
I'm
Nah,
gonna have
he's
to
alright.
cut this out. I've met him
Nah.
and he's lovely.
I
He does
like
seem
Colin,
nice.
but like you can't disrespect Tom Baker like that when he's himself. Like,
Yeah, he didn't seem to understand
I don't
what
think
the
he
curator was.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I don't think he understood that his incarnation would probably come around again in the future in the Doctor's
Yeah.
life. I think he was just maybe a little bit jealous that he didn't get time on screen. The way
I
I
think
would have
so.
done it if I was in charge of Day of the Doctor is I would have had 4, 5, 6, and 7 and 8 record new dialogue for the Gallifrey scene.
Yeah, I
That way-
think that's probably what they should have done.
Yeah.
That way
So-
they're all involved, and when you get to the curator scene, it's like whatevs, you know. I think
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the bit where you see all their TARDISes,
yeah.
I think that would have been the best place to do it. For so many people, Tom Baker just is Doctor Who.
yeah.
Like people
He's
have never
the-
seen it before. It's
His silhouette is what I think of when I think of Doctor Who, even though
Yeah.
I've definitely watched his Doctor probably the least, as well as Troughton.
He's got like
Yeah.
such a love for the show as well. Like it's
Yeah.
just amazing. Yeah.
I'm just gonna close a window.
I
You can edit
I
this bit out.
finished his autobiography, by the way.
Ah,
You know,
Rosie
the audio
Moore.
book. I got to. Yeah,
Rosie Moore.
Oh god,
I
no.
was hoping
Not
we
this
weren't going to
again.
mention that.
Oh,
I thought we
you've
could
got
go
to
on.
mention Rosie Moore.
I thought we could go like just at least one conversation without you bringing that up.
Why the fuck did he just close his window with a stick? Why did you close your window with a stick?
Because it's really high up. It's high up. I can't reach it.
Oh, that's posh, that. That's almost as posh as Three Cheeses. Maybe
Oh, that's
even more
that's
posh.
student and accommodation.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Very posh students' accommodation, though.
It's quite cheap, actually. You've not seen the size of the kitchen.
Go look in the general chat. There's a Tom
General
Baker.
chat.
That'll be the night
Yep.
Doctor Who mini episode bit. That's what the blue guy looks like.
That doesn't look like John Barrowman. There's something off about it.
It looks a bit like Zac Efron.
His face looks too wide at the side.
Stretched Barrowman.
In the video, so
That it looks like a John Barrowman impressionist.
Yeah, like birthday parties.
He shows up and he's like, "Hey, doctor, let's get the thing." That's my John
is
Barrowman.
what it is though.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Uncanny, Paul. Uncanny.
They're just the worst, aren't they?
You could say that, yeah.
Big Finish should hire me to do Captain Jack short trips.
Well, on the topic of Big Finish.
They have John
Oh.
Barrowman.
Smooth segue.
Smooth.
Oh, Big Finish Day.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I've got a couple of bits of Big Finish news.
Go on.
First one is Eleanor Crooks has been cast as a new companion for the Fourth Doctor
Yeah.
in his 13th series for Big Finish called Naomi Cross.
Nice.
She's a unit secretary, top of her class, trained in karate, very bored of pen pushing in a London office.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's all.
It's,
When I read
it's a bit
that,
like,
I
you know,
thought, she's trained the karate, but we're not going to see her do it.
You're gonna hear her do it though.
Yeah, we're going to go,
you'll
"Hi,
hear-
yeah,
yeah.
ha,"
You'll hear,
like whatever noise she's going to make. Yeah.
It also features
As if I can
Harry
see it.
Sullivan.
Yep. Is it the actual Harry?
is an imbecile.
Like, is it the actual actor
guy
who
who played Harry
Harry, or is it
Sullivan's
just
dead.
like some guy?
Well, yeah, that would be an issue.
Oh, was he dead?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
rest
was
in peace.
diabetic. He died due to complications with his diabetes back in the 90s, I
I've
think.
never heard of anyone dying of diabetes. Ironic, since it's got "die" in its name. Like,
Oh God.
it's a bit severely named, isn't it?
Oh, Paul.
I will be cutting a lot from this episode. You can
Love it.
Diabetes.
yeah.
Yeah, and also this series features the return of the Sea Devils.
About to-
Oh, yes.
Can we have them on screen now, please?
Can we have them on screen, but with the exact same shit
Yeah.
costume?
Died of a
Is
heart-
it-
diabetic heart attack on his 42nd birthday
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, on his birthday and
in
everything.
1986. Not the 90s, sorry, the 80s.
Was he eating cake?
Ian Martyr.
For God's sake,
I
Bob.
don't know.
Was it his birthday
He was having a
cake?
fucking heart attack.
Oh, never mind. So it's not to do with diabetes then?
It was a diabetic heart attack.
Oh.
What the fuck?
Oh my God.
I was gonna say, imagine if it was because he was eating his birthday cake. That'd be sad.
Jesus Christ. So, seeing...
Stupid deaths on horrible histories. Poor Harry.
and
I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Okay.
Oh,
I don't know if that shows up.
ah.
Are you ready now,
Who's
Dan?
this guy playing Harry then?
I don't know,
You-
actually.
Because I looked at him and I was like, is that the guy, but he's just old, or is that someone else? Yeah, couldn't tell.
Back.
I don't know. There's another guy on here on the picture of the press release, who I'm assuming is the guy playing Harry Sullivan. But I
Yeah,
can't. There's nothing
The
about it. in the
white-haired
episode.
fella.
Harry.
No, the white-haired fellow is Tom Baker.
No, don't they both have white hair? Or is he bald?
Are we looking at the same picture?
I'm not looking at anything right now. It's from memory.
Okay then.
She has grey, like white grey hair, and there's Tom Baker, and then there's a skinny-looking, serious-looking dude.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's the guy playing Harry.
Yeah. What colour hair's he got?
Like kind of greyish brown.
Oh,
Like his hair used to be brown, probably.
Tom Baker looks very
He's looking
strange
old,
in
isn't
that
he?
picture. Like in Day of the Doctor, he looks kind of plump. In that one, he looks deflated.
Yeah, in the thank you video they did during lockdown, I say that as if it's like ended. It's still going. The
Especially in Manchester.
when they're all like saying the Doctor, it gets to him and he's like the Doctor, and he looks so frail and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, he's 86 years old now.
Just wanted to
I
give
think
him a
it's
hug.
because he
He's
was
836
very big.
years old now.
He's
He was
I've
quite
seen it.
tall and quite muscular. So as it starts to, like, decompose, I guess, in his old age, he will look.
Are we seriously talking about the anatomy of Tom Baker?
Well, he does it
For a
himself
second
quite
week
a
in
bit
a
in
row.
that book. to be
For the
honest.
second week in a row, yeah.
And he got
Where's-
his organs out.
No.
no, we're not doing this again. We're not
No,
doing this
Prince-
again.
Do you know Prince Philip?
Where the fuck is this going?
He's old, isn't he? There's a picture going around of him the other day, and it said he looks like decades younger, but he still looked about 1,000. I was like looking at a picture of Dumbledore, and I was like, well, he's meant to be 150.
You know,
So Prince Philip must be at least 800.
I think he's got the same thing as Ozzy Osbourne, where no one's told them that they're dead yet.
They're just too scared.
They're just still going because no one said to them
I
to
think
stop.
Mick Jagger's a bit like that as well.
He's dead, isn't he?
Yeah. I don't think so.
I don't think Mick Jagger's
Jagger?
dead.
No. Who am I thinking of?
Any one of the millions of people who are currently dead.
Billions, maybe.
Danny Pink.
But nah, it's Rod Stewart.
Oh, rest in
Rod
peace,
Stewart's
Danny
still
Pink.
alive.
Oh no, Mick
Yeah, he's
Jagger
not been
is
told
still
he's
alive.
dead yet.
On the topic of Tom Baker
Oh,
being
from
very
Liverpool.
old.
Yeah, can we actually talk
Sure.
about Doctor Who for a bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, on the topic of Tom Baker being very old. The interesting bit about this is coming out in 2024,
Oh,
Oh,
which
right.
I don't understand.
How does it take that
Let's
long
hope
to
it
make
comes
one?
out in 2024 then.
well, I ordered,
Yeah.
like, they announced a Tom Baker thing a few months back. Like a famous Cyberman story that was never made or something. And it's got Tom Baker and Elizabeth Sladen, except obviously she's not alive to play Sarah. So they've got a daughter instead. Yeah. And the
I saw that.
resemblance is fuck all alike. So let's hope they sound the same. But I pre-ordered it, but it doesn't come out till like November 2021. And they take the money as soon as you pre-order it. But it was like 12 quid, which I thought was dead cheap. Because I thought if it's like a box set,
Yeah.
it'd be like
here's-
expensive.
This is
Yeah.
what the senior producer, David Richardson, said. Naomi's a huge character. I'm going to start that one again. Naomi has a huge character arc that will play out over the coming years at Big Finish, and you may meet her in unexpected places. Eventually, the jigsaw of her life will come together. So it seems to be like a years-long character arc they're planning with this person.
Oh, great.
You know what they're planning, don't you? Jargo and Lightfoot meet this character. That'll be it.
She's going to turn up in all the
I go and like
spin-offs.
to have the Timeless Child.
I seen there's Big Finish done a story, yeah. The last ever Sixth Doctor story, like what caused his regeneration. And on it says bundles, which are normally like cheaper than buying it separately, yeah. And I was like, what if they bundled with this? Only about 100 Jargo and Lightfoot things, and it came to like
great.
400 quid almost. I was like, why are you trying to sell me this? I was like, no, you're not having it.
What else is in the news?
I've got one more bit of news, another Big Finish thing, which I think this is a really cool one, actually. So David Bradley's going to be reprising his role as the First Doctor for First Doctor Adventures Volume 5.
Are they on 5 already?
Apparently.
Yeah,
I don't know who did the other 4.
So he done it for The other 4 too, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, did he?
I'm about to finish volume 2 later.
I've only listened to one bit of
So-
what's it called? You know, Paul, because you told me to
Yeah,
get it.
he's listened to part 1 of the Destination Wars.
The Destination Wars, that's it.
So
it's pretty
there's-
good.
The Destination Wars, which is the first episode, they're all 4-parters.
Yeah.
That's the first Doctor meeting the Master. The Master's like stranded on some planet, and he's manipulating both sides of this war so that they get into like an arms race quicker, so that they can get to nuclear arms faster, so that they can use it to get off the planet. Then episode 2 is called The Great White Hurricane, and it's about like domestic abuse and gang violence in New York, and like whenever that the Great White Hurricane was. These like solid as well, you know. Episode 3 is in volume 2, and it's the invention of death, and they go to this planet with these like immortal creatures, and one of them spears Barbara straight through the chest.
Jesus.
But then they have to. Then they're like gelatinous as well, so they put one of their arms on them and heal her. And then, but then they start dying after that, so they've got to like find out why, and that's dead good. And then the next one's called The Barbarian and the Samurai. So like they're like doing proper First Doctor ones where it's like a future one and then a pure historical. But then I don't know the exact episodes in volume 3 and 4, but in volume 3. They meet Susan as like an old person, like, so it's Carol Ann Ford as Susan in it, as well as whoever plays Susan in it, the girl from An Adventures in Space and Time. And then volume 4 is called Return to Skaro, and it's like the TARDIS team going back to Skaro and meeting the Daleks again. So they all sound quite solid.
Yeah. So have they all been doing this for quite a while then? Because they've got the people who played Ian, Barbara, and Susan from Adventure in Space and Time.
Yeah. So they got them. They've been. I'll get it up now on my phone because it'll say the exact date. They've been doing them since just before Twice Upon a Time came out, I think. But like, I've listened to quite a bit of Big Finish, and
So
they're like the best.
Around 2017.
December 2017 was the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh no,
this
sorry,
one,
and then July 2018 was the second, and then
this one's coming April 2021.
oh, fuck, it's ages away. But the last one came out a few months back. But did they release any details about it?
There's two new stories. The Hollow Crown by Sarah Grochella and For the Glory of Earth by Guy Adams.
That first one sounds like it'll be the historical, I reckon.
That's some
So
good
it was a Shakespeare one, I think.
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds amazing. The stories, they're like so good. All 3 of them so far. There's like 2 a box set, and they're all 4 parts. And they like capture the essence of like 60s Doctor Who so well, but like without having like slow filler. And like the characterization's so good, and it feels like watching the show, but a bit better.
It's
just more consistent.
It's not like, oh my god, it's just like the original series. It's, you know, obviously it's never going to be like that. It's just a good, different interpretation of it.
Yeah.
So it gets away with it, because like if it didn't have that kind of vibe to it and that right kind of 60s Doctor Who feel, it'd fall flat completely. But luckily, it's still really engaging.
Yeah.
Because
it's not as slow as the original, it feels so good. But like the stories themselves are like solid. Like the Great White Hurricane's a pure historical, and it might be the best thing Big Finish has ever done, I reckon. Like, it's so good.
I wonder with the Shakespeare one where they're going to set it. Because obviously there's already been a Shakespeare.
Do you reckon they'll get the same actor? I reckon they would, you know. It's a proper Big Finish move, that.
Do you reckon that it's going to be after Shakespeare has met the Doctor, but...
Yeah.
Sort of like, obviously the Doctor hasn't met Shakespeare yet, so...
Yeah, it'll probably be after. Or, I don't know, you could do it either way, because it'll make just as little sense.
It'll be odd if someone called the Doctor came up to Shakespeare and he was, for the second time...
if Shakespeare had already met him.
Yeah.
because then you wouldn't go back and watch the Shakespeare Code and be like, why isn't he bringing it up? Whereas the Doctor doesn't not say that he hasn't met Shakespeare before. So, like...
Shakespeare Code is set in 1599, and the Big Finish audio play, The Hollow Crown, is set in 1601.
Oh, brilliant.
Alright, there we go then.
Can't wait for that. That'll be so good, you know.
I'm
proper excited.
This sounds interesting.
This is definitely my favourite series Big Finish have done. Like, out of everything, except for maybe Class. Because the Big Finish Class is, like, next level.
I do want to listen.
But this is, like, solid. It's just good to see Bradley back.
It is. I do love him as a Doctor.
He's so good.
He gets it right.
We'll have to do episodes on these eventually. Or, like, just Big Finish in general.
So that's all the news I got.
That was
All right. Well, thanks for listening. We will.
I'll just get me notes up for the actual discussion.
Yeah.
So, do we want to talk a bit about the novelization?
I was just gonna say, how did everyone revisit Rose? Did you? I watched it with a commentary track by a YouTuber.
I just watched it and wrote it.
I just watched it.
Did you
I
read
was going to read the book, but it was like 11 o'clock, and I can't read that late. Because I just got too tired.
Yeah, so Cameron, you read the novelization, didn't you? Oh, he's off. He's reaching for a shelf.
What is he? He's like a weeping angel. He's blinking, he's back.
He's got the frame rate of a weeping angel as well.
Stop motion, Cameron. Oh my god, he's got a weeping angel. Cameron, don't you'll kill us all.
Why are we narrating what Cameron is doing?
Because it's an audio medium.
Spin-off podcast.
Yeah, so Cameron, you read the novelization, right? Can't hear him.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's quite a good book. It's not that long.
There we go.
About
the main thing is his audio.
200 pages?
Oh.
197 pages.
That's not that long, actually.
But it's also like
Has
quite a thin book in terms of like the cover and that too. Like the painting, like it's not very.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can hold it in one hand, like very.
I think you can do that with most books.
Shut up. This one's a thinner book.
I've got some encyclopedias I can hold in one hand.
See?
You know what? I'm going to say it. I reckon I could hold every book I own with one hand.
Even comic books.
Yeah, they're quite.
No,
light.
I mean like this though. Like with your hand fully round it. Like it's quite a thin book. In both.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Do you know,
I'm holding 2 encyclopedias in one hand.
You're not holding them round the width ways though, are you? Smart ass.
None of this is going to be usable in the final cut. We've probably got about 10 minutes worth by now of like content.
That's good.
Right, so the book.
Yeah.
Oh, it should.
So it.
Okay, no, I like it.
It starts on a slight like prequel about Wilson, the guy who we've never seen in the show, but Rose has to give some money to.
Wilson's
turns out that's for like a company lottery, which and he
say the lottery for
apparently has just been fiddling the money.
Oh, Wilson.
The lottery thing.
Cheeky Wilson.
Do you know, when I was watching it, I thought she shouts Wilson far too much.
Well, she doesn't know he's dead, does she?
She doesn't.
I think he can't hear me. Stop shouting.
But yeah, he's dead. That's addressed in the first chapter of the book. And you can really see what Russell T Davies was trying to go for with the show, possibly held back by the budget.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when Rose goes to Mickey's flat, there's 3 other people there who are Mickey's band, because he has a band.
Right.
And one of them is gay at the start of it. The other one turns gay at the end and goes out with the first gay one. And the other's a transvestite.
It's just statistically
and the band's
unlikely,
name is Bad Wolf.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a bit too on the nose, I think. I'm
a
kind
little
of glad
bit,
that the band name thing
That's
was kept
Russell
out.
being cheeky, that.
Yeah,
You'll
no,
love to see it.
the beauty of that is, like, apparently at the time, people only started noticing it about around the time they got to, like, Dalek. It's like halfway through, people were like, what is this Bad Wolf thing? So I think to throw it in episode 1 as, like, a really, like, out there, like, name, I don't know.
Yeah, if you put it in like that, people are going to start thinking it's just a reference to the band.
I think the best one is the helicopter in Dalek saying Bad Wolf 1, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
Because you
yeah.
barely notice it.
Wolf 1 descending.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. In the Doctor Dances, isn't it on the side of the bomb in German or something? Or it's somewhere in a different language.
That's a good one.
It's in Welsh somewhere or something.
It's in Torchwood as well at some point. In the Captain Jack Harkness episode.
Yeah.
The
Sorry, on my notes. Yeah. The plot is slightly longer as well. It goes into a bit more detail about the world and everything. So, like, there's a much longer bit in the shed with Clive, and it turns out Clive's dad possibly worked for UNIT and died during an adventure with the Doctor.
Oh.
I think it's implied that it's during the Yetis in the London Underground.
That's very cool.
More plastic is shown to be part of the Nestine consciousness and an Auton, including a Lego display in a shop.
Oh.
Which, when I read that in a room surrounded by Lego,
that would have been great.
Yeah, because
a brick-built Lego man walks along and tries to kill Jackie.
But
they mention in the episode
there's more variety of on instead of just shop window dummies.
Yeah, because they mention in the episode, like all the things that could come to life, but it's you only ever see the shop window dummies.
The shop window dummies, and those absolutely terrifying child Autons.
They're horrific.
Imagine that running at you.
Yeah.
Surprised you didn't do a figure of one of them. They could have just like repainted the empty child one or something.
Yeah, you could have done like empty child legs or something, and then just given it a different torso.
Could have gave it an adult torso.
Yeah.
And like the Autons are more fluid in a way. Like they can change their handguns to a sword and back again, and instead of just having like a gun in their hand, it's also other things. A bit like the Mickey Auton in the show turns his hand into a giant paddle.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a bit more
And then I've got notes about Revenge of the Nestine.
Oh, don't do
Revenge of the Nestine until... Revenge of the Nestine, but we can talk about that later.
Oh, good.
Yeah, should we get into the actual episode then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to point out my first note here is just Graham Norton. Does anyone know what I'm on about?
Right. I have some notes on this. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Go ahead then.
Oh,
yeah. So when it was broadcast in 2005, the first couple of minutes of the show, the audio from what was it? Strictly Dance Fever from BBC Three, hosted by Graham Norton, were playing over the top of it.
So as Rose is walking through looking for thingy, forgotten his name already.
Wilson.
Yeah, thank you. I can't remember what he's saying because I'm pretty sure I've seen a clip a while ago. He's saying something like, "Oh, it's very tense," and it's like, yeah, I'm trying to watch it. It must have been so infuriating.
That's perfect. Imagine fans were like, have they not actually made it? Are they taking the piss?
Well, I asked my parents about this because they were with me when I watched it at the time.
Yeah.
And my mum said, that rings a bell. And my dad said, what? So that's all the insight they've got there for you.
Nice one, Dan. My first note just says, like, the show just kicks off straight away with, like, the amazing new intro by Murray Gold.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
Whereas Series 11 left it till the second episode.
All of the
Series 1 was like bang right in there with like one of the best themes ever.
I've also noticed since revisiting Rose, not this time but the time before or whatever, I realised the music in the episode and through most of Series 1 is different to the one that's on the soundtrack album.
Yeah, that's because the soundtrack won Series 1 and 2.
No,
some
it
reason.
was because he scored, because it was such a tight schedule. He scored everything like a couple of months before it had to be edited in, and it was like such a tight block that he didn't actually get to record anything with an orchestra. So all of it's done with just Murray and a computer. And then
The most annoying part.
And then when Series 2 came out, he got to redo it all, which is why it's on like the same album.
The most annoying part's that Eccleston isn't on like the album cover, and it's the only series he's in.
Yeah, they should
So
have.
then he just isn't on a single cover then, and it's all like Tennant.
That's the thing with all the soundtrack stuff is it's not actually the music from the episode. It's all re-recorded stuff.
I've only just found this out right now, and I'm not happy.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, well, because like for not even for Series 1, for like every album.
Is that why
That's
the
why
Series
they-
12 one's missing like every song?
Yeah, that's why
The recording from the BBC proms, I think, with the early ones.
So some of it's live, some of it's. I don't know, man. We'll have to look into it.
Some of it's dead.
It's just because of the way the like soundtrack stuff in TV work is it's not really stuff that's listenable in like that kind of way. Like you have to take it out and then select stuff and then re-record it so they're more.
It has to be
Just as a
timed
song.
to the dialogue and the editing and stuff rather than for listening to on an album. It's really interesting. We'll do. I could do an entire episode on Murray Gold one day.
Oh, I cannot
so
wait.
could
I would do that.
Our top 10 tracks or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd have to be top 50. There's just too many.
Yeah.
All of them.
So-
All of his tracks are the best.
Yeah. So yeah, but this
Except
theme
for Brandon.
tune, the one for like Series 1 and 2, it's real creepy. I always found it quite creepy as a kid.
There's that weird didgeridoo kind of like element to it, because it uses the main melody. It's taken straight from the 60s theme tune, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And then he adds in the orchestra, and then the actual like bass part has got this really like twangy kind of tone to it. I always found that really weird. But
Stephen Moffat wrote a
suits
whole
it.
short story on it. Like
On the theme tune?
recently. Yeah, like it's a short story, about a robot assassin in like a children's home, and the doctor taps into the TED site like using a psychic link, but then it turns out it's a kid with like multiple personality disorder who's a big fan of Doctor Who,
What?
and he says like he's scared of the theme tune or something. And Stephen Moffat writes, like, at the start, it's like all the monsters. Yeah. Do you know, like when it's like, just the very start.
The Sting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like, dun 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 dun
Oh,
dun
okay.
dun. But then when it's like, "Woo," he says like,
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. Paul.
Oh my
he says
god.
that's like the doctor coming in.
Cut this
to
out
stop
and use
them.
it as the theme for this episode.
I was just gonna say I can overlay that if you want. I'll put in a ninja edit right now of our theme tune with Paul's vocals on the top.
Well, yeah, so he says in the story that when that bit happens, that's the doctor coming in to stop the monsters. So, like, not to be scared of the theme.
It's still
And
creepy.
it's called
though.
Yeah.
Terror of the Umpty Ums.
Oh, is that what that is?
Is that what that is? I was
Yeah. It's like, it's so, like, it blew me mind when I was reading it. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I
Stephen.
need to check that. I need to check out all the stuff that's come out this year because I've not listened to any of it. Or
I haven't listened to, like, the latest 2, I think, but I listened to the first, like, 4.
there was that thing you
Red
sent me
Dummy.
before, Paul. I knew it. It was the Novice Hames thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
short stories and stuff they done for the lockdown bits are great. Like, the one about
They're really well
13th
done as
Doctor
well.
and Susan's amazing. But
Is that the one you covered in your video? A brilliant short story.
no, that's the Chris Chibnall one.
Okay.
About
I thought you were just like plugging your video there.
Nah, that's I think it's called What She Thought While Falling, and it's by Chris Chibnall, and
Yeah.
he writes it like Douglas Adams, and it's amazing.
Cool.
Oh, the What She Thought Was Falling is different. The one with Susan is...
Yeah, no, I'm talking
the
about. I'm not
Susan
talking
before
about
she-
the Susan one, no.
Accordingly.
The Susan one.
Oh.
The Susan one's good though. It's not as good as that, but it's a good one. It's by the writer of I think it's like Lee Whitehouse or I don't know, something like that.
Mary Whitehouse.
Nah, it's like it's one of the guys who wrote. I think it's the what's it called?
Doctor Who.
The frog one.
It takes you away.
Yeah, it takes you away. I think it's him.
The frog one.
It's
That's
either
its
him or
legacy
the
now.
guy who wrote Kablam. I forgot, but it's really good.
So
Anyway,
I've not got anything on my notes until we get to the Contact Live thing, which is really interesting.
Really, I've got quite a few things.
So
I've got
I'll let you
loads.
guys carry on.
Go on, Don.
So, when you first see Mickey, what is he doing there? Because he seems to just be sitting with it and he's really aggressively eating the chips though.
He's
And
hungry. He's hungry, Dan.
He seems to aggressively eat chips and then he does a little dance.
Oh, you've got to love him. He's so charming.
He's so pathetic. He
Oh,
really is.
come on. Not everyone's a top shagger. Some people like Mickey have to proper grind for that.
You do feel sorry for him sometimes.
Oh, all the time, because he is pathetic. But you've got to love him.
And also, I really like using the Autons as the first monster you see in this reboot.
Yeah. They're the perfect monster
Yeah.
for it, because they're familiar, but not a lot of people will kind of put their finger on why.
They also
it
look
could have
better
been
than the other
so.
half.
Yeah, it would have been so easy to like go. It's Doctor Who. We're doing Daleks.
Yeah,
or we're doing
or
Cybermen.
Here's Tomb of the Cybermen or something, and just like completely alienated people who. Yeah, no, it's and the fact that it opens with a montage that's dead. It's really like tight and small scale. It goes right
That
into London,
montage
and it's
is
just
great.
about Rose and her daily life, and there's nothing different about it at all. Or
Yeah.
like,
Also slightly
intergalactic.
foreshadows the dummies because it lingers on them for a few more seconds than, say, the bus or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got it written down here. Rose's shop plays Westminster Bridge.
it does. As she walks in, the sound quality changes, so it's like it's coming out the
Yeah,
PA.
so it's like in the scene.
That's a great bit of editing there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Westminster Bridge is canon.
Westminster Bridge being the song that on the soundtrack that's playing.
Everyone
Yeah.
goes to work listening to that track.
Um,
All over the world.
Yeah, I think the Autons are the reason for so many years I was genuinely terrified of mannequins in museums.
Yeah,
They really always creep
Same.
me out.
I don't think I've ever been like terrified of anything from the show.
Yeah,
to
we
be
need a
honest.
Halloween episode with the Autons set in like you know, like Halloween shops where you get all these big plastic
Oh.
masks and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. There's
I
there's a
think
lot
that
of
there's
horror
still-
potential.
I think there's still a lot of fun that could be had with the Autons.
Yeah. What was the thing I
Saw
mentioned
one
before? I can't remember. now.
idea earlier, an Auton story set in Madame Tussauds so you can get loads of celebrity cameos.
That was it. That's what I said. Yeah.
That'd be good. That
Are they
Adolf
plastic?
Hitler,
though?
he could come back.
Um.
They're
He is
they're
there.
wax. They're not plastic.
Fuck it, we'll work it
Oh.
around the plot.
It's fine.
Well, you've made us all look like fools now, Cameron. I hope you're happy. I've got with the
How about an Auton story where all of the plastic surgery like implants into celebrities come alive and start taking
Well, yeah.
over them?
that'd be
They do mention that. later.
terrifying.
Do they actually?
Wouldn't it? Yeah. So like when the doctor's running off like things that could turn into could turn into Autons.
Oh yeah.
Rose mentions breast implants as well.
There's a brilliant story you should check out called I think it's called Autonomy. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. It's
No.
it's a 10th Doctor book set in a mall, and it's basically what happens if you're locked in a mall and the invasion starts from within. So
Is it
still
set during this same attack?
no, I don't think so. I think it's
I was
like
gonna say,
I think
that'd
it's
be
set
weird.
in like millions of years in the future or something.
Yeah, actually, I think I did start reading that book a long
Yeah.
time ago.
It's quite an old one, I think.
Yeah, will
I have
it
quite a
be?
vivid memory of it though. It's good.
I've got
Paul
I've
Blart
got
isn't
written
the
here
mall
that
cop,
the
though.
Orthons are good, like obviously, like you said before. Dan, are we gonna talk about Wilson and his lottery money? Because
We've already talked about Wilson, haven't we?
Oh, we mentioned
Yeah.
him fiddling
Yeah,
with
he's a
money.
dodgy bloke.
oh, is he? Is he a seedy bloke?
Probably better that he's dead.
Oh, right. Well,
Shall we,
then I've got
Oh, sorry, go on.
Eccleston. Are we talking about Eccleston now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
If
So
you want.
I think he takes like charge immediately, like, but he's also charming and funny at the same time. And
Yeah,
you
it's
just,
a
like,
really-
he just feels like the Doctor straight away.
I love
It's
that
a really fantastic opening for him.
it
as
is.
a
Yeah.
Doctor.
I love that we don't see the TARDIS interior for a bit as well.
Yeah.
Like she sees it and we don't get to see it, and then she goes around for a bit, and that's
Yeah.
brilliant. That.
I also love when it disappears later on. She runs back and she's just like, "Oh, it's gone." But like she doesn't even really notice. She's like,
Yeah,
well.
they really like hold back on a lot of the classic iconography stuff, which I think
Yeah.
is really clever.
There's the
Don't
TARDIS just
see
kind of
inside the
chilling
TARDIS
in the
until
corner.
27 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, when the TARDIS is in the background of a scene, it just looks really natural there.
Yeah, the
Like,
There's
it
a
wouldn't look
shot-
out of place
there's a shot
until you realise
outside of
it's
the,
not meant to be there.
wherever the estate is that Rose lives, outside there, there's a shot of, when he's giving her the speech about feeling the turn of the earth.
I love that.
The way that's
Yeah.
framed with the TARDIS in the background, and it's just like you wouldn't notice it unless you were
Yeah.
like
Looking for it.
unless it was Doctor Who. Like it's it's brilliant.
And
I like the symbolism
When-
with the hand as well when he lets go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when he's holding her hand.
when Rose runs away from the shop as it explodes, if there wasn't the music score swelling a bit as it lingers on the TARDIS, would you notice it's there?
Probably not, because the camera does like stop.
Yeah, it
and
plays a
linger
bit
on
of the
it for a
theme,
bit.
doesn't it?
Have you noticed when Rose notices
Yeah.
something in the episode? There's literal bells ringing.
What?
What's
Yeah.
it? Well,
Yeah.
What?
So like when Rose, sorry, not Nose, when Rose realizes something, like while she's looking at something, you hear bells ringing like dead fast until they like cut out.
Oh,
Oh, the
Yeah.
I think I know what you mean.
I know what you
Yeah.
mean. It's like a like that.
Yeah,
Like a
Yeah,
reverse
yeah.
bell noise. Yeah.
yeah, and
God, that
Like,
bit of audio clips
'cause
really.
it's like
really
a
bad.
phrase in it, like when bells are ringing or something, you realise something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stupid like
that
that.
happened
was it
quite a
when-
lot throughout
I feel like it's when Jackie's
Lieutenant
boiling
and
the kettle. Or
Eccleston
something.
era.
Yeah, it's a school reunion thing as well, like the exact same bell.
Yeah, it happens with Sarah Jane.
Yeah, love that.
I love his line after he says, "What's your name, Rose?" It's like, "Hi, Rose. Run for your life." His delivery on that is so fun. I love him.
Yeah.
I love Christopher Eccleston so much.
It's a shame he'll never ever return.
I think he
I'm
will.
fine
I
with
think
that.
he will.
Even though he's my
We all
second
think he
favorite
will,
Doctor, I'm
and
fine
then
with
we're
it.
all disappointed.
Like I think his
Who said
story
Tom
works
Baker
so
wouldn't
well
return?
because of how short it is.
Yeah,
Like,
Tom Baker
'cause
likes
if-
the show.
That's why it annoys me when they wheel him out for like Big Finish and all of these like extra novelizations and stuff like that, because his like journey is he's done the Time War, obviously in a different incarnation, but obviously Moffat hadn't come in with his monkey wrench by then and gone wow and opened it all up, but he's kind of to try and distract himself from that, he's gone and got like a really basic outfit, keeping himself busy on the Titanic and JFK and stuff like that. And then he meets Rose, who kind of helps him learn to enjoy being who he is again. And I feel like every time they bring him out for more stuff, it ruins the short but sweet kind of story that he has. But that might just
Before-
be me being
Slight
grumpy.
mystery around him.
Yeah.
Before we carry on, did you just read the prequel?
No.
I didn't.
It's obviously so it's out of canon, yeah,
Oh, with
because
McGann
it's the
turning
Eighth Doctor
into...
regenerating into
Yeah.
the Ninth Doctor.
Yeah, I did
But-
see this.
It's like the best thing I've ever read. Like
It's
Russell
really cool.
describes like planets colliding into each other, and then
It's
like
the idea, isn't
being
it, that,
sucked together into like a big wormhole
It's like,
as
yeah,
the
there's like,
Doctor's floating through space.
it's like stuff
like-
about battles where age was used as ammunition and stuff.
Yeah,
They use planets to throw at each other.
Yeah,
there's,
and,
there's,
like,
there's
the Doctor's,
stuff like the
like-
Nightmare Child, where it's just so
yeah.
H.P. Lovecraft that
visceral,
it's like,
but like unimaginable.
which is why it really annoys me when Moffat tries to simplify it to just this little brief bit of time that can be moved around everywhere, and it's like, no.
In Big Finish, it's like entire planets are at war
Yeah,
where the history's been rewritten. What the fuck happened then? So like one day it'll just be like normal, but then the next they'll have been at war for centuries, and like every person will just not remember the other time, and that's what it was like constantly in the Time War for different planets. There's an
feel
Eighth
like-
Doctor and Sontaran story about it.
I feel like they missed out on doing more with it in the show.
Yeah,
Just the sheer scale of it, because it's really kind of it's not ruined. It's just kind of scaled down a lot by what other showrunners do with it later on. And
But
Gal-
yeah,
I would have preferred the Time War to have been not mentioned at all and have a massive mystery surrounding it than what we have.
yeah,
Like, the Time War was horrible and everything, and we don't actually know. Instead
Yeah.
of, oh, there's a Time Lord with a gun.
yeah. The Daleks shoot at each other across the globe, even though there's no ships in the sky when he goes to the barn. So that kind of, I don't know. It's so silly.
yeah. So in this prequel, the Doctor's like in space or whatever, watching all this happen, just as the TARDIS comes in to rescue him, and then it says he thinks about what his last words are gonna be, and then he says it doesn't matter, like in his head, and then like when he speaks his last words, he said no one was around to hear them, and it was drowned out by the noise of the Time War ending. And then after he regenerates, he describes the regeneration like beautifully as well. And then he's just like, after he'd regenerated, he stands up or something, and he just says "blimey," and I was like, that's the most. That's the, even if that's not canon, I'd still accept that the Ninth Doctor's first word was "blimey."
Yeah.
Like that's pure.
Well, he's from
Semantics.
Lancashire.
Yeah. And then, back to like this. When the Doctor yanks like the Orton's arm off in the lift, it's like to the beat of the music, which is like amazing. It's like
Yeah,
proper
yeah.
wacky stuff that Russell just loves to do.
There's a lot of good, like, clever uses of syncing up action with the soundtrack.
And then, like after that, all those shenanigans, you see like Rose in the flat, and she's obviously told anyone, and it's like the best line ever. Mickey just comes in and he goes, "What are you drinking? Tea?" And it just proper made me laugh.
He's so pathetic. He's so...
It's like the perfect line.
Yeah.
So I do have a note about the arm. London, the
It's
only
harmless.
city where you can walk through a street with a plastic arm and not get weird looks.
Yeah.
No, I
Because
don't know. I
you're doing
reckon you
anything
can
with
do
it.
that most places.
I've been to London before.
So
I was on the London Underground with my family once, and my brother had a giant stuffed gorilla from the zoo. And we got weird looks because we were talking to each other, but not because we have a giant stuffed gorilla under our arm.
I've just stuck a link into the Discord. Oh my god, I'm so tired. In the Discord chat, I've put a link to whoisdoctorwho.co.uk.
Yes, because it's a real
It's
website, isn't it?
genius. You can actually go on Contact Live,
Uh,
and there's all of
let's have a
these.
look.
There's all of these different.
That grainy ass photo. Contact
There's these
Clive.
different entries from people who have seen him.
Contact us.
So,
Jen.
so some of them.
Holy shit.
I wonder if any of them are from Linda.
So there's Sarah Jane Smith. There's Mr. Yates. What was another one I saw? Marty McFly's
Mr.
on there
Yates?
somewhere. Yeah, I'm assuming it's Mike Yates.
Blue. Peter D. Arthur Dent. From the Hitchhiker's Guide.
yes, yeah. This is the website that Clive runs, and then the BBC still still maintain it to this day.
Yeah,
which
they're
is
still
really
running
Marty
it.
love that.
McFly, I know the man, he stole my DeLorean.
There's loads of them though.
Gavin.
Here's what I once saw him on the tube reading A Brief History of Time and laughing heartily.
That's good, that. Wonder if Russell wrote all these himself.
Brown.
Some of these.
Um,
Oh my
Perry.
god.
there's so
the
many.
The Perry one is heartbreaking because she still wants to go and find him. It says he walked into my life one day and right out of it, interested in getting back in touch. Any information? That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because
Harry is
one thing I
left in
don't-
space, though.
she married King Ikanos. That
She's
was the
married.
worst. That was
Brian
the
Blessed.
worst like companion exit the show has ever done. They killed her off and then immediately resurrected her and made her go and marry some kind of like serial killer.
I am blessed.
Terrible. Yeah.
The thing I don't like about the Sarah Jane Smith entry is that it implies she works at the Daily Mail, which I don't think she would.
Who? Sarah Jane.
Sarah Jane Smith.
She's probably freelance and sold it to them.
I just hope she doesn't work there.
Nah, she's dead.
All right.
Rest in peace.
Um,
Wait there, JR. My mum says she met him in 1977 and he hasn't aged a bit.
JR, who's that?
Isn't it someone from Dallas? Like the show?
Um,
Because there's someone in Father Ted who wears a shirt saying I shot JR.
is one from Clive Evans. I saw him a few years ago at the Louvre in Paris. He was gazing at the Mona Lisa, muttering, "I prefer the original."
Oh, that's very good, that. Fourth Doctor reference
That's
and everything.
yeah.
The original's in the Sarah Jane Adventures and it fucking comes to life.
There's a quote from Steve-O. I'm hoping isn't the guy from whatever that fucking show is.
Jackass.
That's the one.
Someone called Chris Fazy. I saw him at Chester Zoo talking to the giraffe.
There's that Steve-O one that you just mentioned. I think that's a reference to the Five Doctors where he says something about the atmosphere. It says something about the atmosphere that experiences given off by electrons giving off positive ions or something, even though they can't or something. Like there's a massive contradictory statement to basic science that seemed to slip by. I think that's correct in there.
I've found one that I assume is quite heartbreaking from my quick skim. The bottom one by Doris Spelger, yeah. It says, I know the man you mean. I saw him last year, the day my Fred went to hospital for the last time. He was there in the corridor, thumping a drinks machine. He nodded at me, smiled, and then handed me a drink from the machine. It was a really lovely tea. In fine bone china. Keep the cup, he said, and left. Heartbreak. Poor Fred.
Yeah. Phew.
Trampus. He
Then
bumped
R.
into me and didn't
Williams.
say sorry. He looked like he was in a terrible hurry. Mad that. There's some great ones here.
There are.
So yeah, the Contact Live thing's a really neat light touch.
Arthur Dent. I'll read this one because comedy gold and that. This rather odd man was laying down in Loser in front of my home. That's amazing. That Russell actually wrote the foreword for the reprint of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy book, and he talks about like how when he was in school, every single person had it. Like even like people who didn't like sci-fi were reading it, and everyone had a copy. It's just amazing.
That's brilliant.
And it's like such a good book too. What's the sightings one though? How on it?
It's just the pictures that are showing.
Sightings are the pictures.
Oh, fun fact about the pictures, yeah. you know the photoshopped ones of Eccleston?
They were
Jordan
done by
watch along
Russell,
on
weren't
Twitter. Yeah, Russell was like, I done these myself. And someone replied to it saying, well, you're good at other things.
they? Yeah, they're pretty bad.
I was like, that was fucking brutal there.
I'll just throw another note that I've got out there that I am 99.999% sure that the man putting the bin out that stares at Mickey is an Auton.
Oh,
Because the camera lingers on him for just a little bit too long, and
it really does.
He's got a very kind of straight face. He's like, you can see, he just puts the bin out, stares at Mickey, turns around, goes inside. I have a feeling that because the Autons knew, well, the Nestian knew that Rose was going to Clive's to find out more about the Doctor, that maybe the Autons invaded that house, and so they could put the bin out that would eventually catch Mickey. So I think he's an Auton laying out a trap.
What if the man was racist?
Oh no!
Even worse than the Autons, I'd say.
Yeah.
Is that?
I want to know why the bin was out. If he wasn't an Auton, why did he put the bin out? Because it only had cardboard in.
Yeah, he's not putting the correct stuff in his black bin, is he? Kells should get him for that.
He's not putting anything in the black bin. Purple.
I've noticed we're only in like the first 5 minutes of the episode still. So let's. When the Doctor walks in, Jackie starts chewing his ear off about compensation. and she goes, she should be entitled to compensation or something. And the Doctor just goes, oh yeah, we're talking millions.
I love the line, but a conversation after that bit where she's like, "There's a man in my
strange
room,
man in my bedroom."
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, nah.
No.
Walks away.
I think that's like
fact.
that's one of them. I think that's the first time Doctor Who did a like outright sexual like gag, because the TV movie is probably the only thing that comes close when he kisses Grace, but that's not really a sexual thing. I think that's the first time Doctor Who went, haha, sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the calf flap? Yeah.
Yeah.
In the script, the Doctor was meant to put his head right through it, but Christopher Eccleston's head was too big.
Was the cat flap too small?
Well, he does have a pretty big head. No offense, Chris.
That's like the glass
Mostly the ears.
glass half empty argument. Is the cat flap too small, or is Chris X's head too big?
And another thing I love is do you know when the Doctor like flicks through the book like extremely quick and he just read it all? Mm-hmm. That's like one of my favourite things he can do ever. That's so cool.
It's
the bit with the cards as well, where he just spills them everywhere.
Yeah,
it's a good comparison to like An Unearthly Child, with how the Doctors react when they're first around their companions, because William Hartnell tries to be crabby and push them away and is more mysterious and trying to hide who he is, and then Eccleston's just in the background flicking through a book and doing card tricks and just going, my ears could be better, and isn't really trying to hide as much as if he wants Rose to notice him so that she can come with him and keep him company.
He wants an excuse to get out there and start saving the world again.
Mm-hmm. I like that. That won't last. He's gay and she's an alien.
Yeah.
Just like offhanded comment that no one bats an eye to. Like, if I was Rose, I'd be like, excuse me.
I've just remembered another thing I absolutely love, and I know a lot of people don't like Series 1 because it goes too far with like fart gags, and like the burp when the bin burps when it eats Mickey.
That's amazing.
Now, the bit that I really like, and I will never fault, is the arm lifting itself into the air and then launching itself at the Doctor.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Because it's just sat on the couch or something, and it just jumps up by itself, and then turns, and then launches in the midair. I love it.
It's great.
Do we want to talk about Plastic Mickey?
Pizza!
Pizza!
It's like Uncanny Valley with him.
I would say that stuff is difficult to watch.
I I really like
Yeah.
it, just because it's very.
Props to
very
Noel
funny.
Clark for doing it.
It shows how self-obsessed Rose is as well, because she doesn't even notice how different he looks.
Yeah.
Because she does treat him like Rose is a garbage person. I need to remind people of that. She treats him really badly, especially when
Yeah.
you look at like
Mickey is
Boomtown.
fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rose
does
should
get
be
better.
nice
It
to
goes
Mickey.
on.
He gets better, but in this
Yeah.
episode, no,
Yeah.
come on. He's literally cowering by some bins at the end.
I
Yes,
like that.
but at the end of
Russell
Mickey's
wrote them to
story,
be
she
very,
holds
scared.
Davros to gunpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he marries Martha, and it's like, come on.
No, because they have a kid called August or something.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh.
I don't know. I find that a bit.
I'd rather him be with Martha than Rose.
Yeah, but I feel
it is
like-
a bit weird
I
that
feel like as badass as he becomes, I think she could do better.
she could do better, and it is a little weird that it's like the two black companions. They just kind of go, you two go together.
Yeah, that's what they've got.
It's a little bit. Oh,
It was
Yeah.
either that or Sarah Jane, because they're both called Smith.
I don't know if anyone has got like an action figure to hand. I'm trying to make my Ninth Doctor dab. I've actually managed to do it quite
I
well.
have, but I'm
No,
not
no,
moving it because
I'm just
then
gonna
I'll
pop
put the
in-
figures.
I
there.
only have a Weeping Angel to hand,
I'll put a picture in the Discord now.
which
Just wanna hear a Ninth Doctor impression.
I can get is that.
I'd love to hear your Ninth Doctor impression. I need more for my upcoming video.
Right, with the so you've got to. I haven't practiced. I haven't practiced any of them, but yeah, except for Rosie Moore. But even that's not
Stop
like,
it.
up to scratch. So, it's like I don't know whether it'll sound even slightly good. So it just says, "I can feel it."
awful.
wait, I'll have another go now. I can feel it. The turn of the earth.
That's
No
nothing.
good.
That's not an. That's
very-
not an impression. You're just saying the lines.
It's a very cheerful Ninth Doctor. I can feel it.
I can feel it.
It's still.
I feel like we should burst into song now with like, I can feel it, I can feel it, or whatever that song is.
Let's go stop the autumn.
Do that in your Christopher Eccleston impression.
Nice to meet you, Rose.
Fantastic.
That's
There you
Kermit
go,
the Frog!
Listen, lad.
We have to go and stop the nesting. Yes.
Nice to meet you, Rose.
What are you doing here? I live here. What'd you do that for?
I would pay good money to see a Muppets Doctor Who crossover.
Can you imagine?
Muppet Treasure Planet.
As long as they don't have any fucking dead baby ghosts like the Muppets Christmas Carol, that's fucking scary, that.
I like that film.
It's a good film, but that one ghost's terrifying.
Mm.
With its dead kid voice and that. Ugh.
Um,
Then you got Hobo Father Christmas.
sorry, we just mentioned the nesting. I didn't know about this, but it's Nick Briggs' like debut performance
That was it?
Yeah.
as the
Doing
growls.
It's his first official Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in, like obviously
He
goes on to voice all the
Previously done
Daleks
some
forever.
stuff for Big, because he already owned Big Finish at this point,
Oh yeah, he'd been doing it for years.
and Cybermen.
I was talking to my mate Ed yesterday, obviously, as we all know.
No, not your mate.
Nicholas
Ed.
Briggs is in charge of Big Finish, and he does quite a lot of writing. And everything I've heard him do is amazing, to be honest, yeah.
Apart from his Ninth Doctor impression.
Apart from his name, which is shit. But me and me mate Ed were talking, yeah. And we were like, why did he never ask him to write an episode of the show? Yeah. But they'll be like, he waits there and the phone rings and he's like, now's my chance. And then he answers it and they're like, Nick, can you just come and do this Dalek voice? And he's like, yeah, I'll get me coat. And they're like, no, you can do it over the phone, it's alright. Just absolutely
He is
devastating.
on set when he does it, though.
He
Yeah,
gets his little ring modulator or whatever it is.
It was just a joke
He's like just off.
with the.
But
I made this last night
I
at
am
about 3
surprised
a.m.
they've not asked Nick Briggs to do it.
If you check the general chat, I'll send it.
Shall I just throw out my last couple of notes on the episode?
I've
Check
still
it
got
out.
like 100 notes.
That's right. I'll finish mine then, and then we'll jump into whatever you've got. That's true. Yeah. So
Put that on the Instagram then.
when Rose and the Doctor are running towards, where are they going? They're going and finding the Nestine, aren't they?
Running across London Bridge.
London Eye
Yeah.
and Southwark.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
thanks, sorry,
there's a
not that.
man on the second bus picking his nose. I don't know if anyone's noticed that.
I've never noticed that.
Oh, brilliant.
I do
That
know
is
with that
incredible.
scene, they had to wait a while to get a bus to come in the background so they could prove it was like London. They wanted a bus
Yeah,
in the background
yeah.
and were just at the other side waiting. And then they got two. That is the
Yes, so that was-
antiphony of that
That
saying of
sums
you
up
wait for one
buses,
bus and
that.
two
Yeah,
come at
so
once.
What?
that bus in that scene isn't theirs. It's
They've got a mystery guest.
Just waiting for it to turn up.
Can I take it? 'Cause I've been drinking that.
What? Oh, what this?
No,
Or that?
I don't know if I can take them.
No, take this then.
No,
Sorry,
because I've been drinking
mystery
that.
guest is taking paracetamol and needs water. There you go. What do you think of Rose?
It's alright.
It's alright.
Fantastic.
Fair play.
It's fantastic.
Oh, wait, the fantastic.
Fantastic!
Fantastic.
I'll have to work on my
Fantastic.
and get back to you because it's shit.
We have two people from Manchester, which is close enough to Eccleston, so you know.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
In when he says he can feel the
Sounded more
10th
Yorkshire.
Earth, the Doctor's theme kicks in, and it's like the
It
best
is.
piece of music ever written.
You know, apparently that's thank you. Apparently that's what's the old woman in the Five Doctors? Oh my god. This is...
We haven't seen it though.
Oh
Well, I
god.
haven't.
Oh my
Old
god, what's she
woman?
called? Sorry, I'm gonna have to Google this because it's a really interesting idea.
Dan watches the Five Doctors every day.
I do. I watch the extended version as well. It's like.
Do
8
you
hours
mean
long.
the
Jesus.
cardinal woman in
That's,
that
oh, you're
becomes
close.
Lord President?
What's she called? Sorry, hang on.
I can't remember her name, but I think you know who you're on about.
Yeah, the Five Doctors woman. What's she called?
No?
The Chancellor. Oh my god, what is she called? This is going to drive me insane.
Rosser? No. He's the one that gets shot.
Who? Barusa? No. The woman. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
he's the guy who gets shot.
If you could just go on IMDb if you want.
I'm
You
looking
don't
at
have
the
to do
plot now to try and find it. Unfortunately.
My mate just sent me a video.
Oh,
of
Chancellor
Will Tommy and the
Flavia.
Freemas walking down the street.
Chancellor Flavia. Apparently she
Chancellor
is.
Labia.
It's supposed to be her. It's supposed to be her singing the like choir part to the Doctor's theme.
it. As in, like in.
Apparent-
As in, that's a singer or like in canon?
As in
Yeah.
canon, it's her singing when she dies. Apparently, she gets like executed. I can't quite remember.
Oh.
And it's her. That's what she like sings, and so that's the Doctor's theme. Because of that, Russell's mentioned it like a while ago now. I can't remember.
Wait, so does she sing that in the Five Doctors?
No.
No. The Doctor's theme. I'll just Google Flavia. Bear with. The Doctor's theme, and then in brackets, it's referred to as Flavia's theme. Oh, hang on.
Labia's theme.
It's really interesting though, because that little motifs apparently that is her singing from like the afterlife or something. God knows.
Is it the actual actress?
Yeah. So
don't-
Russell said that the female vocal in the musical scores is also her theme. So that's like her singing. It also plays when the woman appears in the end of time. You know, at
So,
the end when she looks at the
How does
Doctor.
it relate to her, by the way? Like,
I have
so
no idea,
confused.
but it's just probably another thing Russell's
Because they said
thought.
so.
Yeah, he's just put it down and gone marvellous, and that's it.
Who's this woman?
Chancellor Flavia. Or Flavia.
Chancellor Labia.
He becomes Lord President of Gallifrey in the Five Doctors when
Yeah.
the Doctor doesn't want the job.
It's a guy.
No, it's a she.
Oh,
No.
Cameron sounded like Cameron said he.
There's probably more on it somewhere. It's just I remember googling it a while ago and I really couldn't find anything more than just he said that it's her theme as well as the Doctor's theme, so it's like she's singing it and it's like what?
I don't get that.
I know. It's just one of those weird things. It's on one of the commentaries for Series 1 or 2 DVDs, so you know. If I watch through all of the commentaries, I'll find it.
Since he's my best mate, I'll have to ring him.
Yeah,
up
you
and
should have asked him on the Zoom call. Or...
If only I knew. That would have been my question.
So when Rose first enters the TARDIS, did you notice it was Doomsday? The music Doomsday was playing.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But without the kind of like the rhythm.
That's quite good.
Yeah, it was just the vocal part.
Yeah, that same. Yeah.
What I did notice was the Ninth Doctor just went, nah, tell you what, let's go in here then.
Yeah.
And she must have thought, he's gonna have me. Like, that's proper suspect, that.
I love everything about that scene though.
It's so well done.
Because apparently,
One thing I want to point out with the scene is that is a really solid door for the back of that restaurant.
it just
That is like a solid metal door.
Yeah. So apparently, what Russell wanted at the time was for it to be like a long tracking shot going into the TARDIS, but that wasn't possible at the time.
No, there is a long shot though as it goes through. Doesn't it go through one of the pillars as well? Or am I imagining that?
I think
It's
so.
a really clever
Yeah,
use of
it
the shape of the set. Like it fully
Yeah.
goes and it shows all the angles so that you don't
Does
have
it,
to CG in like the other wall where the cameras are. That it shows
There's a
as
one
much as it
take.
can.
There's a one take earlier on in the episode too, when the Doctor and Rose are walking down the street before the Earth turn speech.
Yeah, that
It
whole
goes on for a while and it's really good.
Yeah,
Like,
with the
you don't
little
break character once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, the music's so good. It's
Muddy
this,
River.
like it's the perfect mix of cool, we're going on a journey type feel and just really silly sound effects. There's those like
very
hi-hats in the
2005.
background constantly just going. I love it.
I love the way I've got a lot written down about the TARDIS, by the way. So, well, not a lot, like a paragraph, because I find it hard to express how much I love it. But like, it's completely different from any TARDIS before it, but it's also like so much bigger than any other TARDIS. Like, it really fucking stretches the bigger on the inside.
That is
like,
the one complaint I have about the Russell era is I wish, because we got to see one other room of that TARDIS, where Tennant chooses his clothes. I wish we got to see just a bit more of how big that place actually is, like because they utilise the big walkway around the side towards the series finale, and then Tennant uses a different. I'm assuming it's a different floor because there's not like corridors going off it. But I wish we got to see just a little bit more to the actual ship.
I just love it because like the classic series ones are always just like a room with like an extra door to like go into the corridor, but then this was like a massive like hall like sized place, and it's like the way it curves in on itself at the top's like so grandiose, like
It's
it feels
beautiful.
like so big.
I love the
I
lighting
like
as
the
well.
design.
A lot of people complain
Incredible.
about the kind of glowy, kind of weird thing going on with Series 1, like how it's lit. But I really
those
enjoyed the way
people,
the TARDIS
shut
is lit. Like, with the greenish blue lighting. Makes it look so alien. And then when they use the fog later on in Boomtown, it really makes it look alive. Like, it's brilliant.
I love that.
I've still got the
what
playset
else?
somewhere and it's gorgeous.
I've got it in pieces in a box behind me.
I think all of the
With my
floor
other
panels
Doctor
for
Who
mine
stuff.
have ripped. But it's
I
definitely in a
love
box somewhere.
A lot of it was cardboard, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I going to say?
Because it
Which
creases...
you figured how
Everything
hard it
was
would
done. Even the 11th
Rip.
Doctor's TARDIS set was done so it would go into these little pegs, which meant it'd crease when you tried to put it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some real bad choices they made for those.
I've got the 11th one. Looks pretty good. So,
If
same
only
with
it had
the
lights
TARDIS.
and sounds.
Oh, one day.
Yeah.
No, actually, because they don't even
One
make them.
thing-
now.
I want to get the
No,
Jabba
they don't.
TARDIS.
One thing I noticed with the TARDIS was
It's bigger
as
on the
we first see
inside.
the TARDIS here, where it's just been the Doctor, not about. Apart from that, we first see it, and it's been just the Doctor for a while. It's like quite dark and gloomy, sort of. But by the end of the series, it does become brighter in there as the Doctor's mood changes, and he
And
becomes more open and happier.
Yeah.
It's
My,
like it reacts to them psychically or something.
My sister was watching
Yeah.
The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances the other day, and I love how it has the changing in lighting as they dance to the music. I
Yeah.
really like that.
All these episodes are so good.
Just
There's so many little bits.
Russell T
put in.
Davies with the small details
Yeah.
is brilliant, and I don't think Moffat or Chibnall have been as good with the little details yet.
It's because they simply haven't had the time to, because of how crowded the schedule must be to do it all. Yeah, it must take it like. That's why it works when a showrunner comes in. They've got an idea and that they've had since they were younger, and they can just go straight into it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you start coming up with ideas as you just get the job, then you're screwed because you're not going to fit it all in. I think.
You've
I
also
think Moffat's
Well,
talked
with
about
the
that
Timeless
before.
Child.
I think Moffat's talked about before about how like crazy his schedule was when he was writing Doctor Who, and how incredibly stressful it was for him.
That's why when people are just like, I don't know, this series feels a bit rushed. It's like, yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Because it just got more and more tighter, the schedule.
you've got to understand though, Russell's a god. Like he can do anything.
Yeah, but he
Well,
had
he's
the
at
he
all
had the
whenever he
hiatus
wants.
to come up with the ideas. Like
Yeah.
he was
And he-
thinking of casting Christopher Eccleston in like what 2003 when he did.
Not even that though. You could give him it now,
Yeah.
and he could just click his finger and write like the
I
best
don't know.
thing ever written.
He isn't without his flaws.
Oof.
I
No, I
somewhat
I
talk
stand
about
by.
at the end of it.
I think the end of time is like a real mess, but we'll get
It's
to that
that-
Oh, that,
Well, even
That's
at the end of this
devastating,
episode, I think.
because like it's pure nostalgia that episode.
Yeah, but like I think even at the end of this episode, you see some of what I would say are the flaws of Russell's era. I think you often get a lot of stuff that isn't set up at all, and that just saves the day. So,
anti-plastic.
well, that
I
bit's
feel
kind
like
of set up.
He was
but-
working on
love
it
that
for a
bit.
while though, wasn't he? Because he'd been investigating it before he met Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I think what I mean more is, like when the Ortons have got him held back, and Rose is there, and she says, "Oh, by the way, I got like a GCSE in gymnastics or something," and then
No, she
swings
got
along.
the bronze, lad.
That's
You
a
got the
Buffy
bronze.
reference,
So-
isn't it?
So what?
Is it a Buffy reference? I'm pretty sure it is that I got the
I'm
bronze
not-
thing.
Don't know. I've never seen Buffy.
All right,
Yeah,
well, we're
but
gonna
I
start.
think-
I'm gonna start a new Buffy podcast.
I think one of the things happens a lot in Russell written episodes is characters revealing things about themselves right at the end of the plot, or
With some
By
epic
the way, I
music,
had
and then
this-
the day is saved. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah,
I
I
think
get that.
that's one of his flaws.
I do love the Rose gymnastics bit purely because it comes out of nowhere, and it's like you wouldn't have them skills now if you got it in fucking primary school.
I
And then
I
she
don't
goes
know.
for it again.
anyway.
I had friends who did gymnastics, and I don't remember any bits where they swung on big ropes.
And kicked anti-plastic into nesting consciousness.
Yeah, he kicked plastic men from the sky. I
I
mean,
probably do that.
like gymnastics might have changed since
Gymnastics.
2005, but
The the death count in this episode is pretty high.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
Clive
I,
and
The
his
amount
family,
of people that get at least injured is insane.
I
Clive
wish,
and his family, like his whole family, dead.
no, I don't think his
No,
family
only
are.
Clive.
Yeah,
Only Clive.
See his wife and children running off, but Clive just gets shot like a motherfucker.
I wish
in the
Clive didn't
book,
die.
he,
I
like-
wish,
Go back to
Go
the
on.
novelization. He is given such a better death because it's like, oh, all of my stories are true. Then he
Yeah.
has that moment of realization, oh, all my stories are true, you're all about to die. And he basically says, nah, to his family, you lot run away, I'll try and buy you some time. And basically just holds his arms out in front of an Auton and gets the back of his head blown out.
Do you want to
oh,
hear a fun Clive fact?
That is the wording.
Yes, fun Clive facts, please.
So
I'm gonna
in
put a time code for
Waterloo
this.
Road, yeah, Mark Benton played a character like one of the teachers at the school, and he adopted one of the students, played by Tommy Knight, who plays Luke Smith in the
Waterloo
Sarah
Road,
Jane
yeah.
Adventures.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a fun fact.
That was a fun
It is.
fact.
And,
I had fun with that.
Just to
fact.
go back to the Big Finish news,
Oh.
Andrew Treneman in Waterloo Road is Ian in An Adventure in Space and Time.
Ah,
And the First Doctor audios as well.
Yeah, and the first
Oh
Doctor
no,
was in
we've gone round in
Waterloo Road.
circles.
I'm joking.
that's a little one for all of our Waterloo Road fans out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
It's
day
a
it'll
really
come back.
good show.
Yeah,
It also
it'll
has
come
Clara
back.
in.
Does it?
The character Clara is in it.
Yeah.
No, Jenna Louise Coleman's in it.
It's one
For,
of
like,
many timelines where
2
Clara's,
episodes.
like, dead.
She gets arrested for murder.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Clara.
did
what
she
Oh,
is
do
so
it though?
it's just that it's the Zygon version, the evil Clara. What's she called?
Yeah.
Bonnie?
Yeah.
Bonnie, yeah.
God, I hate that 2-parter. Can't wait for that.
Oh, I don't either.
Paul,
No,
I don't think Paul hates a single episode of Doctor Who. And to be honest, I'm quite
I
jealous
don't.
because that is
I
such a
mean,
good aspect.
That
You
I
could
the
put
episode
on
has
any, and I'd be like, yes.
the episode has its flaws, but I think the end is Capaldi's one of his greatest moments.
The speech is good. I don't like
the
it
war
when
speech is like top tier.
it does annoy me when every time there's like a threat of terrorism, people just retweet that speech thinking it'll solve all the issues. Like that really gets on my back.
That's
Yeah.
kind
He
of
solved
cringe, though.
terrorism, guys. Sit
He
down and
did,
talk.
but he never.
Right,
Let's-
so whilst you've been talking about that, I was looking for the quote in the book about Clive's death. And it's just this. But
There's an
Clive Finch
illustration.
stood his ground. Anything to buy his family a few more seconds. He held his breath and puffed out his chest and closed his eyes. Somewhere in the back of his head, he thought, like father, like son, and then
I hope Cameron's mic's picking
The
everything
back
he's saying
of
up,
his
so I
head
can't hear
was
a fucking
gone.
word.
The back of his head was gone.
Oh.
There was a little
Oh.
period of silence there on my end. I don't know if anyone
Yeah,
else.
same.
Yeah, I
Right.
didn't hear most of that.
I can fix it, probably.
Yeah.
I'll forget. What was that thing about his father? Because I missed that.
I heard you say like father, like son, which is quite interesting.
his father was meant to be part of UNIT.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, I just remembered now, yeah. In the
Yeah.
Yeti attack.
In the
Oh,
novelization,
With the
but it's never died in a unit. Yeah,
right, with the what else? You mentioned the Shadow Proclamation too.
Yes, I was just going to mention that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Russell
first
has contributed the best fictional names to Doctor Who ever.
Oh, there was one in do you know Farewell Sarah Jane?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
mentioned,
the villains in
one
that
name.
show up.
yeah, they
It's-
had the coolest name ever.
I'm gonna see if I can find like a list of them because even like
I'm
just
gonna
single
look now.
characters like Blomfell Foch, Pasamir Day, Slovene. How
Yeah.
does he come up with stuff like that? Banakafalata.
He's excellent at naming things.
What's the name
well,
of
if I hadn't seen his interviews, I'd have say drugs.
what's Miss Foster's real name in Partners in Crime? She's got like a really long name, hasn't she?
Oh.
Yeah, the Jackals of the Backwards Clock.
Yeah.
That's the coolest name ever.
There's a whole like Big Finish box set in just that one sentence.
Yeah,
It's brilliant. I
Oh,
don't know
so
how.
decent.
Jackals.
Gives them ideas.
Russell's just like the best. Like, I love him so much.
Do you want to do a bit of trivia?
Yeah, I've got some
Time,
trivia.
time for trivia, I think. It's a bit of time for trivia.
Trivia time.
Trivia time.
Trivia
for
time jingle.
Oh.
Let's go.
We must mention before trivia, Boris Johnson
No.
is the Nestine
Yes.
consciousness. In the sequel to Rose,
Ooh,
it basically just
Nestine's
builds up to Boris
revenge.
Johnson being the Nestine consciousness.
can I shamelessly plug another podcast because they made an
Go, 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 go,
excellent
go.
joke about Boris Johnson the other day about him being an Epstein. He said, what did they say on Big Damn Cast? They said he's a Slovene and an Auton duplicate, but much worse than that, he's real,
Oh.
and that really tickled me. That was a
What
perfect.
I find funny in that is it says, "Oh, this man has power," but because I wanted to do my job properly and I researched this,
I
he
can't take
didn't
Cameron again.
in 2005.
Yeah, he weren't Prime Minister in 2005, but let's ignore that. He was Mayor of London,
It
though,
wasn't
weren't he?
anything.
Doctor Who's weird with its like
Maybe
politicians.
just
Like some of it's real and some of it isn't. Isn't Obama in one of the
In
episodes?
2000,
Yeah, Obama's in End of Time.
Yeah.
Wait, he's going to solve the economy.
Maybe,
but in
maybe Boris Johnson didn't have
2000
loads of power, and he just had a big dick, and he got them confused. It's like the same thing to Dynasty, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
yeah, in 2005, he had just been fired as Shadow Arts Minister.
Oh, Boris.
Sorry, I've just found
being
that.
fired.
I went looking for names that Russell had come up with for the show, and I ended up coming across that beautiful picture of him and Steamo with
Who?
Michael Grade. And it's beautiful.
Oh, Steam Office.
I'm gonna stick it in the
But it also,
Anyway,
the Nestle's Revenge also has a link to the Pandorica Alliance, where it says, "I will get revenge on the Doctor and even include the Daleks,"
Oh.
yeah.
which I think is quite good for something Russell didn't even write. He references.
That's one thing we forgot to reference to mention. The Doctor sounds like very heartbroken when he says, "I couldn't save your world. I couldn't save any of them."
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
it's
he's
hinted at
very
the Time Lord just a
remorseful.
bit. And
Yeah, this
it's
is
like the best line.
Again, it's another
hint.
part of bigging up the Time War so that it takes place over all of time and all of the
Yeah.
universe, rather than just narrowing it down to one little event.
Yeah.
And it's genius.
So,
Trivia.
trivia. So, the news footage, this is just a fact for me, by the way. I don't think anyone else will care about this. But the news footage of the fire when Rose is watching the news and seeing the report about her shop having blown up, that is footage from a real fire in Edinburgh on Cowgate in 2002. Which is... So that footage is taken about, 15 minutes from my front door.
Really?
Oh, which one, Dan? Because you seem to be all over the UK whenever we talk. Preston, Manchester, Liverpool, Edinburgh.
I've travelled.
Yeah, a man of the world.
Also, apparently Edgar Wright was asked to direct this episode.
Oh my
That
god!
would have been brilliant.
I
Yes.
would come.
He couldn't do it because of Shaun of the Dead.
Well, a worthy sacrifice because that film's godly.
Yeah, but I would still love to see a Edgar Wright directed episode of Doctor Who.
Speaking of Edgar Wright directing things, Noah, classic Noah. Yeah, don't cut this bit out though, Don.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
it's talking
No,
about
I'm
Ralph.
leaving this in.
Yeah.
This is the most interesting bit for me
He
so far.
messaged me the most heartbreaking thing ever earlier. He was talking about our movies that didn't get made or something about a Bruce Lee Shang-Chi one or something, or Bruce Lee's son. But then he goes, yeah, it's like that time Neil Gaiman wrote a Doctor Strange script for Edgar Wright to direct, and I was like, what?
Edgar Wright was going to do Ant-Man, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Oh,
Neil
God, that
Gaiman
would've been
wrote a
good.
script for Doctor Strange that Edgar Wright was meant to direct. I just thought
shit.
that sounds like the best thing ever.
What a combo. Right,
If only.
let's crack on.
This is the only episode in series 1 with a cold open.
With no cold open.
Yeah, with no
No,
call.
with a cold. Yeah, with no cold open. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
it goes
Straight
straight
into
into
the
the
title
theme
sequence.
tune.
It's also the first ever episode, I think, where you see the interior of the TARDIS from the exterior when the Ninth Doctor
Yeah.
stood in the doorway. Because usually it's like a black void or something.
Yeah, I don't think they even bothered doing it in the TV movie, did they?
Speaking
Yeah.
of firsts, it's also
No.
the first use of the word gay in all of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
That had never been mentioned before.
And I feel like because of
Well done,
stuff
Russell.
like that, that doesn't date it, but I feel like the BBC barely post about Series 1 now because of stuff like that. Do you not think?
What? No.
I've read, like, it might just be because of some of the stuff I've heard, but I do have a feeling they barely celebrate Series 1 and, like, the Ninth Doctor because of stuff like that.
When I was talking to Russell, yeah, he was talking about... Oh, this is a fun fact. I'm allowed to say this, because he didn't tell me not to. So he was talking about someone asked him how he creates villains, and he was saying how he usually likes to make them fun. He doesn't like to scare kids and stuff. Yeah, so he'd make them fun, and he was like Cassandra. He went Cassandra was a social commentary on plastic surgery, and then he just paused and he went, "What a gay show!" It proper made me laugh.
Yeah, but I think Russell has done a lot for, because he's put consistently a lot of like LGBT characters in a lot of his work. Yeah,
he does it well as well, though. He doesn't do it like Chibnall, where it's like the Donald Trump guy, and then the agent behind
the
him.
lazy
And
Trump
he's like,
allegory
"Who are
that
you
then
again?"
mentions
and he's
Trump.
she's like, "I'm married to your niece," and then she dies in the next scene.
That is what they do, isn't it? In
That's exactly what they do in Arachnids.
They say this guy, they make him out to be just like Trump, and then they say, he's hated Trump for years. It's like, okay, so is he?
Yeah, they make him out to be Trump, and then he's like
really
opposing him, and you're like, why would he be Trump if he's opposing Trump?
God's sake, Chibnall.
Yeah, I suppose it helps that Russell is an actual gay man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Even
he's just done a
Moffat,
lot for. Yeah.
like when Moffat wrote Bill, she
Makes
just
it
mentioned
more
she was gay
natural.
every episode, and you're like, you don't need to, Bill.
Well,
we know.
apparently Moffat was criticised because there weren't any queer characters in all of Series 5. So he made a massive effort to try and rectify that in the rest of his stuff.
Yeah, with Madame Bastard and all that. I always, because Series 6 was my
And then
first
we got
series, yeah.
Vastra
I
and
always
Jenny.
thought it was very weird in A Good Man Goes to War when he goes and recruits like Vaster and all that, and I was like, these must be pre-existing characters. No.
Honestly,
like, what?
it's Stephen Moffat we're talking about. He's the least subtle writer in absolutely anything. The guy has style, and I love the fairy tale kind of element he gives Series 5, but after that he's got absolutely no like self-restriction. Like, he'll just, I don't know, man, it baffles me.
Another fun fact, trivia, is Clive is the first person to refer to the Doctor as Doctor Who since the War Games, apparently.
Huh.
Like,
That is his name,
what?
to be fair.
Like, you wouldn't think so, though, would you? Like, you wouldn't
No.
think... You'd think they'd be saying Doctor Who all the time, like they do in the modern show.
Is it the War Games where it's saying Doctor Who is required? Is that from that?
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think so.
I haven't seen the War Games yet. But,
It's very long, I
fun
think.
fact.
It's 8 episodes long.
Jeez.
That was Patrick Troughton's last episode, wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 You're making him giddy.
I have another fun Russell fact,
Go.
but it's not relating to Rose, it's just Russell. So, in the first ever story, technically, yeah. So, the first ever 13th Doctor story published by the BBC is a poem, yeah, from September 2017, written by James Goss and illustrated by Russell T Davies. And the poem's about someone pretending to be an assassin or something. Yeah. And that person is the Doctor. Except Russell made James Goss change the pronouns of the Doctor to be ambiguous. And then the sketch he done for the illustration is a female Doctor. But it was he drew this and the BBC had approved it before Whittaker was announced or anything.
Oh.
Spooky.
So Russell technically wrote the first ever 13th Doctor. Well, not wrote. Like, he made the first ever 13th Doctor story by, like, getting that illustration and getting him to change the pronouns. and then they announced the 13th Doctor was a woman. But he even hit the number 13 on the illustration, because it was meant to be like any Doctor. But then, so this is the illustration. Yeah.
Oh.
It's got like heels on.
Oh, yeah.
Like there. And then, so there's the number 13. Like hidden on it.
That's nice.
So Russell, what a genius, predicting stuff again. Like he didn't even know the 13th Doctor was going to happen as a woman when he done that.
They didn't even know when they did Series 1 that it would go on like after the finale. They thought if they just got one series, that would be it. They did not expect to like do Series 2, did they?
To be fair,
It was
even if
4
that was
days
it,
after
that
Rose
stand
aired.
the test of time.
Yeah. If it was just one series, though, I'm sure it would have been.
Yeah, I think the rest of it was commissioned based on the viewing figures for this episode alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that's scary,
Well, it
isn't
got
it? Can you imagine?
10.81 million
That's a lot.
in the UK
That's
in the first view.
that's about how many
Which
The Woman Who Fell to Earth got.
There's a viewing figures chart going around, isn't there, of like each series, showing how many views it got. So that's Series 12.
Series 11 got 10.6, I think. Because
that is the views for this one episode.
The highest it was Series 4.
No, Series
that's
11's
the-
first episode, I meant.
Series 4 got 10.57 million viewers. That's the highest it had been, which is a lot. The lowest being Series 12 with 4.6.
Oof.
But the ratings change when you look at different graphs, so take it with a grain of salt. Series 5 is surprisingly low.
Yeah.
Series 5 Series 5 is
People
about
went-
the same
There's
as
a lot
Series
of
1.
hate for Matt Smith when he first came in because he wasn't David Tennant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people at the time who said, well, I'm not watching anymore because David Tennant wasn't in it.
Now,
I have
weirdly though,
mates-
for me, that's my favourite era of the show. Is in between the 10th and 11th Doctor was when I was just incredibly like excited, and
Yeah.
I was, oh my god, my love for the show was reaching new levels. Like,
Yeah, 11th Doctor is when I just, my love for it skyrocketed, I think.
yeah, Series 5 was just an amazing time to be like younger, to like all of the merchandise coming out, the cool trailers that I had on a loop on the TV. Oh my god, it was so cool. I will never forget.
I had a mate, like a girl mate, when I was in like year 7. Oh, wait, there, no. It'll be going into year 8. Do you know when they announced Capaldi? And she was like, oh, I'm not watching it anymore because the Doctor's old. And I was like, bro, what? Like, just no need for that.
It's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Forgot anything else to say?
I've exhausted
The word
all my
Auton
notes.
isn't used in the episode.
Yeah, only credited. Same with
Whenever the Doctor refers to the bad guy that's always the Nestine, it's only the Autons on the credits.
yeah. Same with Clive
And-
Finch's last name. He's only referred to as Clive. And then that's just in the credits and the script or something like that.
And Mick Rose mentions that she has to tell Mickey's mother that he's dead, but
Oh,
which
that's
is
sad,
now
that.
wrong because we now have found out since that Mickey was an orphan and was raised by his nan until she fell down the stairs and broke her neck.
Oh, lad,
Well,
don't.
she just wasn't a very attentive girlfriend.
Yeah, I don't reckon she's ever met Mickey's parents. He's probably...
Well, no,
He
because
probably went to
the
Because they
mother
are
died
dead.
when she was.
No, what I mean...
The mum is dead and the
because
dad
she's
ran
a
away.
shit girlfriend. Mickey's never got the chance to tell her or introduce her. So she's just like, oh, I'll have to tell his mum. And then at some point Mickey will have been like, my ma's dead. And she's just went, do you want some chips? Fucking shoved them in his mouth.
Speaking of chips as well, the Doctor's speech about living your life, going to sleep, waking up, going to work, eating chips whilst there's a war on above you is repeated by Rose in The Parting of Ways. And it has a lot more gravitas when Christopher Eccleston said it.
What? That's an opinion.
Doctor Who.
But
Billy
yeah,
Piper just subbing it out to Noel Clark and woman who played Jackie in a chip shop, as opposed to Christopher Eccleston actually giving it emotion, is much better.
I think we should take it back to the classic quote, the defining Mickey Smith quote. What are you drinking? Tea.
And on that
I
bombshell,
have no idea what bit you're on about. I really want to find out now.
Do you know after the building blows up?
It's when she's sat on the couch, innit, with her knees up.
Yeah, Mickey
I
just
just
bursts
can't-
in
I
and he
can't
goes,
hear it.
"What
I
are you
need to
drinking?
revisit
Tea?"
it. He's proper giddy, isn't he?
Oh, he's like
Because he gets the arm. He gets the
he's
arm
very worried.
and starts like messing around.
So it's time for what did we call it last week? Thoughts on the episode.
conclusion.
Yeah, well, basically, I put up a post in the Facebook group again and asked people what they thought of the episode, and now I'm going to read out what they think of the
And
episode.
replied to it.
Fascinating.
I'm not reading yours and Dan's reply.
Okay.
Um,
What did I even
Oh,
say?
wait.
What did I say?
I'll read Dan's. No, wait. We spoke about Dan's. It's the Madam Two Swords thing, which
Oh,
would
right.
work.
Yeah, it was a shit idea because they're made of wax.
It'd be fun if they weren't.
I'd do it anyway
Right.
if I was showrunner. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Why not? So, Warren says, he probably hates the way I've just said his name.
Wait. Auton story.
Wait for what?
Auton story where sex toys come to life.
Story.
Lad.
Oh,
You
no.
just know Russell had that on the back burner.
Can you imagine a sex doll chasing you down the corridor? Just going as it runs. Sorry, carry on.
So, Warren has said, it's a fantastic opener and tone setter for the new series. Not anymore, it's an old series now. Brilliant introduction too. It feels a bit dated to 2005 because of course... Wait there. It feels a bit dated to 2005
You okay?
because of course it does, and because of course it does, and I still adore it. Sorry,
Paul's having a stroke.
should I start that again?
No. Next one.
I'll start it again. Got to
Oh,
do
here we
one
go.
in the justice he deserves. It's a fantastic opener and tone setter for the new series. Brilliant introduction too. It feels a bit dated to 2005 because of course it does, and I still adore it. I paraphrased that bit. But the scene outside the London Eye will always be one of my favourite pieces of comedy and TV. And then Noah has said, one of my all-time favourite apps, up there with An Unearthly Child and Spearhead from Space in terms of Doctor introduction stories. Fantastic. And then I have a bonus one here, because we only got 2 comments, so ask me, mate. We only got 2 comments because I referred to everyone as Shibo guys and Shibo gals.
Yeah, don't stop. Stop that.
But I can't be stopped, so...
That's true.
Oh, we can try.
So my mate Matthew said, Russell did a great job of making Rose the main character of the episode rather than the Doctor, as well as the way he presents the importance early on and builds this mysterious incarnation. I also appreciate the choice of a returning monster as the Autons make for an interesting reintroduction, rather than immediately throwing in the Daleks or Cybermen.
Yeah, that's a very clever structure of the series as a whole, where he makes sure that the episode halfway through is about that thing that everyone knows about, even if they never watch the show. Everyone has seen a Dalek on like their cousin's shelf or on like a magazine somewhere. So when it gets round to showing that episode, you've got so many people tuning in just to see what it's like, and it's really good. And we should cover it soon.
Yes.
Yeah. What have we decided what episode we're doing next week?
I think we're doing Timeless Children, aren't we?
I'd love to.
Yeah. Are we going to do
the first episode of Modern Who?
Shall I
next
get-
week's the last episode?
Shall I just get the I'll get the list up right now. of the because I put down just a load of things. And
You
I'll
just
read-
know that Dan doesn't want to do the time.
I really don't want to do this. Not right now. Give it like a few months, and then I can talk about
But
it.
we've just done the first episode, Dan, so we can do the last episode
Yeah.
too. However,
And you agreed to it last week after we stopped recording that we would do the
It's like
Ascension
poetry, it
of the Cybermen
rhymes.
and the
Yeah.
Timeless Child as a possible double episode.
I've just
We'll agree to
remembered.
it.
I've just remembered. I've got a thing. I can't make it.
haha.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. We'll do the Timeless
We
Children.
can change today.
Are we watching Haunting of Villa?
Are we
whatever?
watching all 3 parts or just
Yeah.
the Timeless Children?
I think we should just do Ascension of the Cybermen and Timeless Children because I want to talk about Haunting of Villa Diodati by itself.
Okay.
Sound.
It does seem
Dan's
more
having his cake and eating it
separate.
today.
God. All right. Yeah, you can get in touch with us on Twitter. If you have any, I don't know why I said Twitter like that. If you have any
Yeah.
thoughts or whatever,
Dan's just pissed off now.
I'll be fine in the morning.
Oh, I
Like,
can't wait to see this.
Dan's like the epitome of Colin Baker when someone asks about the curator. Do you reckon Colin Baker ever gets mistook for Tom Baker because they have Baker and they're both the doctor?
Definitely.
And they're like, I loved it when you was the curator, and he's like,
Good God.
I was not the curator. That was
I
Thomas.
saw someone
You
watch
just did that
Colin
entire.
Baker-
You did that entire segment so you could do your impression again. You're just a performing monkey at this point. Yeah, are we rounding this episode out then?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We'll
So
see you next
we
week.
are
Um,
Shobocast on Twitter, and are we the same on Instagram?
yeah, we're the same on Instagram. You can
Yeah, I
didn't
email
know we were on
us as
Instagram.
well now.
We've got emails.
Yeah, we have an
Oh.
email
Yeah, but
address.
it's-
Yeah,
You can
we
send
also-
send anything
what's
that
the
you
email
want
address?
to shobocast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Well, you simply have to be on email these days, I think.
It's the
yeah.
way forward.
Email's the way forward. It's the new BBM.
Shobocast@tiscali@aol.com.
Yeah, I think by the year 2050, over 50% of all business will be conducted over email.
You can find
Yeah.
us on MSN
Yeah.
and Bin Weevils
MySpace.
and Club Penguin.
Do any of you want to plug your individual Twitters?
No.
I'm at Lord Portermouth on Twitter because I love a pun.
I'm at Shinksy_.
Anyone else?
I'm at
Hey.
Mr. DJR now. I don't know if I'll use it.
I think I follow you.
I'll probably do.
Yeah.
Cameron?
I'm on Twitter. I'm not going to tell it though.
Oh,
You have to try and find me.
fair enough.
Ooh, interactive game.
What else? I was going to say something then. Oh, we're also not just on YouTube now. We're on.
Right.
Wherever you find podcasts.
Yeah, we're on
basically,
iTunes.
except for
Well, not iTunes. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Get us in
Stitcher,
your ears.
Breaker.
Yeah, all of those really popular ones.
Yeah. Something else.
And YouTube, obviously, which is probably how you listen
Yeah.
to this, because it's
On-
it's the only one we're gonna like look after.
Yeah. This one has high detail put into it.
Yeah. We got anything else to say?
A little thing that none of you mentioned. This episode is called Rose, which is a subtle reference to the Doctor Who companion Rose.
Oh,
And on
of course. I
and on
thought
that-
it was a subtle reference to Rosie Moore.
It's also it also doubles as a reference to Rosie Moore, who's obviously mentioned in the first episode of our podcast. So it's nice that Russell included that.
Yeah. Like that
and
Russell referenced our 2020 podcast in 2005. With
Yep.
And on the
Rosie Moore.
show, goodbye.
Thank you to our sponsor for this episode, Henrik's Department Store in London.
You remembered?
Reopening soon after it got blown to
I
shit.
wouldn't have remembered that. Big up Cameron for that.
Dedication. All right.
It was my fucking joke!
We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Until next time, Shabo guys and Shabo gals.
Stop it!
Never.